Joe Biden. What's he currently up to? I have this tweet for you from Andrew at Don't Walk Run. He said, here's the raw footage of creepy Joe Biden trying to sniff/eat a random Finnish child. I'm going to play this video for you. Pat on the shoulder, and he walks away. Now, the first thing I want to say is, when Biden sees this little kid and starts doing the nom nom thing or whatever, and they're all laughing, if this was a family member being endearing to a grandchild, I might be like, whatever. But here's the bigger issue. For one, this is a strange guy doing, what are you doing to this kid, man? That's inappropriate. But also, it's the double dip. The double dip. Watch this clip. I'm going to go slow. After he moves back, he goes back in and does this very weird sniff right there. Look at that. Slow motion, and reverse. The first one, you can say, oh, he's just being old, family, Uncle Joe, Grandpa Joe, whatever. And then the kid looks distressed. Look at the kid's face. And he goes in for an extra sniff. Right there. Sniff.
What's with the sniff?
Yo, he's sniffing. Sniffing Joe. And he promised he'd stop. You remember this?
Yes.
He doesn't. I guarantee you he does not remember making that promise.
That explains it.
A man needs a leash.
Yeah. Like, just imagine
when he gets so near a kid.
being any of the people that have to work on that campaign anytime he has to go out anywhere near children, and they're just like...
You think Usher's a menace?
Yes. Well, Usher may be a menace. Biden's a worse menace. That is for sure.
So, Joe Biden, he goes out a few years ago, and he's sniffing women and squeezing them and touching them.
Yeah, like adults too, right?
Yes. And then everyone was like, hey, yo, Joe, you got to stop. He comes out and he's like, I'm sorry. I'm just, I'm an old man. We used to do this stuff. I'm willing to bet when that happened, things like this, he goes back and he gets into the vehicle or whatever. And they're like,
88 miles an hour.
Yeah.
No, they go, Joe, you need to stop sniffing kids. And he goes, I'm an old man. I got very few things left in life. Give me this one.
Wait, who is it when they're like, I'm not a pervert, I'm Italian? That
was Cuomo.
Yeah, is there a Biden version of that? I'm a Delaware man.
And then Cuomo went on to post a video of all the time he inappropriately touched people.
The thing is, I know there were women that were like, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Because I personally know more than one woman that said to me, yeah, I mean, it's Cuomo. He's fine. I don't care that he... I'm like, really?
Well,
that is insane to me.
I mean, come on. Look, the average woman, they see Joe Biden and they're fanning themselves. They're... Whew.
Indeed.
I mean, come on. He's a regular Humphrey Bogart.
I'm sure Tara Reid has nothing but...
He's a regular Hugh Hefner.
Who's a celebrity from that era that would have been considered...
Well, Hugh Hefner back in the day was supposed to be, and he's dead, just like Joe.
Wait. Who's that? Who's that Lane guy? LaLanne? Jack LaLanne? Was that his name?
Oh, Jack LaLanne was one of the first fitness guys. Yeah,
yeah, super ripped, and he, ladies they loved him. He was very in shape.
Yeah.
Tara Reid would beg to differ.
Yeah.
About
Joe,
the Joe Biden phone call.
Yeah.
You got to make that like the campaign thing, because they talk about how Trump can't get suburban women votes because he's like grody, like lecherous or whatever. Just play the Biden game. Just you go to a voter and be like, I want you to imagine Joe Biden. He comes up from behind, slides his hands onto your back.
I'm already done.
Gives you a little squeeze and then How do you feel? Would you like to vote for him?
Violated.
Yeah, would you like to vote for him?
I've never felt more victimized in my life.
I mean, it's been years. And here we are once again with a viral video, everybody's sharing it, of Joe Biden sniffing kids.
Yeah, honestly, though, this is only going to get worse because he's not getting better.
And they're getting rid of all the drugs in the White House, so he won't be able to take those.
I doubt they're getting rid of it. They've already they're not getting rid of the drugs. They're making the problems go away.
Right.
They're not making the drugs go away.
I think they should just let him have them. Just give them to him.
Remember when they said that the drugs may have been from a journalist? Yeah. That was actually a warning to the journalists who reported on it. Yeah. The Secret Service is just, they look at the report and they're like, maybe it belonged to a journalist. And they're like, no. With
that Stewie head where it tilts all the way to the side like that. Do you know?
The story goes away.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. At least that's what I want to believe.
Wait. Could you imagine, come on, Joe Biden's what, 80 years old now?
Yeah.
We are going to get to a point. You know how they say like old people are racist because they just don't care anymore or something like that?
Yeah.
Like what happens when we get to that point where they can't control Joe because he's just so old, he just doesn't care. And he's like, look, my life expectancy was 2 years ago. I got nothing. You can't hold. You got no leverage anymore.
Sounds like he's on the floor of the Senate in 1996 or 4 or something like
They're
that.
going to kill him off and then do the what's that Bernie thing where they just kind of bring his body around.
Oh, Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, Weekend at Bernie's.
But look. What do you threaten Joe Biden with? They're going to go to him and say like, look, Joe, we want you to make these moves. He's like, I'm 80. I'm past my life expectancy. And they're like, well, you have a son, don't you? And he's like, oh, are you kidding me? You think I'm going to respond to a threat to that guy?
They have to withhold ice cream. That's the only thing they have over him.
No. The other way around. Positive reinforcement. They say, okay, fine.
Yeah.
What if we get you some Haagen-Dazs? And he's like, all right.
We'll get you some Ben and Jerry's, and we'll have a clown feed it to you.
No, but in all seriousness, there's got to come a point where Joe Biden just. There was that video where I think he was campaigning in like 2020. And some guy asked him a question, and he just snaps and starts going like, what? And I think that's because he's just like, I don't care. I'm so done. And he's in this position. I feel like, a lot of people have wondered, like, why would they try and replace him in the primary? Isn't Joe the deep state? Like, wouldn't he just step down voluntarily if they really wanted someone else? And I'm like, yeah, maybe he's just gone rogue. Maybe he's just like, I do whatever I want. I don't care. You got nothing over me.
Maybe they have a schedule and they just told him, wait, just hold out until we announce blah, 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 or whatever, you know?
And
I really don't think that he has a significant amount of input. I really feel like he's handlers do the whole deal for him.
Well, that's what they love about it, right?
Yeah.
And every time they think about getting rid of him, they look at Kamala. They're like, we'll do a couple more kids. It's fine. We'll keep going. It's fine.
Look at this. So this is the prediction market for the Democrats. Joe Biden's at 65 cents. He is the sitting president and incumbent, and there's people, a lot of them, 35%, who think, yeah, he ain't gonna win. Mm-hmm. Gavin Newsom, you know what it is though? What you got to understand about these prediction markets is there's also a value bet in that. Look, if I spend 21 cents on a share of Gavin Newsom, that's nearly a 5 times return if he gets the nomination. That's really what it's about. I still think it's fair to consider it should be 100 for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
The fact that PredictIt decided to make a contract on if he would even be the nominee says a lot.
He's the freaking guy that saved democracy, didn't he? He came and swooped in and said, yo, I'm saving democracy from the Donald Trump and MAGA Americans. And like, he's the one who was like the saving grace for America, right?
But I like that. Saving democracy from Trump supporters.
That's what he said,
Basically saying like removing them from the democratic process.
100%. That's the point. Like that, like I talk about like Maoism and stuff a lot. Like that's what when they say our democracy, the people that are the deplorables are not included. They are not part of their democracy. That is a distinction between people that support them and people that don't. That's the same kind of crap that Mao did too. He was saying it in Chinese, but it was the same thing. It was our democracy because they use the same phrases. They use democracy and they talk about it, but with their understanding, it's not a full democracy unless everybody has an equal voice, not just everyone gets a vote.
Well, I feel like
it was the same thing.
I feel like what they're basically saying is our democracy refers to us all in agreement with each other.
Yes, 100%.
You guys are not in agreement, so we must remove you from the process.
100%.
It's why they also laugh at the idea when you point out the fact that it's not a democracy, that you do live in a constitutional republic, and there are things that entails, and then they laugh at that because that's not actually what they're talking about.
Yep. Absolutely. Like that is the line that they're using. There's so much stuff. Again, James Lindsay from New Discourses, he did a podcast on this, and he went through a speech that Mao did, and that it was translated to English. And then he said, look, this right here, that Mao is saying is the exact same thing that Kamala Harris means when she says this. This right here that Mao was saying is the exact same thing when you translate it to English that Joe Biden is saying here. So there's this when I say that there are communist influence throughout all of our government, it goes through the bureaucracy all the way up through actual like DSA members, but all the way to the presidency. There are some people that repeat the things knowingly that they're communist things, and there are some people that repeat them without knowing that they're repeating communist propaganda. But there's a ton of communist propaganda
in the media, right? Who is
in the media and in the government?
Who is the CNN reporter that like they had him change his shot and there was like a picture of Mao and his wall behind him? Do you remember that?
I saw that.
Like it's and you're just they're like, ignore that. That didn't, or they just expect you to not know.
Happened.
These are not the clowns you're looking for.
This is not the Mao you're looking for.
Yeah.
Biden's known for plagiarism, so maybe he's consciously going through and reading it, thinking it's Chinese. Nobody will know.
He's like, hey, this Mao guy's all right. We got get some quotes from this guy, huh? Come on, man. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.